weeks ago, Saturday, I woke up with zero anxiety for the first time in my entire life.
Everyone, today I am speaking to Shannon. She is a carnivore and even a lioness. She just started lion diet recently, and she's going to tell us where she's from and her story.
Hi, Alia.
Hello.
Thanks for having me on. It's a pleasure finally getting to meet you and talk to you in person.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. So I'm from Vermont, and I've been a carnivore for 124 days now, lions for 68 days now. I can proudly say that I'm 39 because I've never felt so good in my life. I'm a mother of 3 boys. They're 16, 14, and 12. And I was basically sick all my life. Started when I was born with, my mom said I was colicky. And after that, every single time I ate, I wouldn't even make it through half my meal, and I was lying down, and my parents were rubbing my belly, and I was crying, basically. And I also had severe separation anxiety as a child. I was the person that the daycare provider was ripping off their parent, and I was crying, and then I'd sit at the window and stare out the window and wait for my parents to get me. I was so afraid that they'd get in a car accident and die, and that would be it. I was an only child for 15 years. My parents went through in vitro fertilization for my sister, who is also a carnivore now. And so is it my mom. And
wow.
Our dogs are carnivores. I have an aunt who just started recently, and my boyfriend started the same day that I started.
Wonderful.
So yeah, I also had sleep paralysis at a young age, and I don't know if that's what caused my severe separation anxiety. I don't know if you've ever heard of sleep paralysis.
No, I haven't. What's that?
So it's when you're sleeping, it's hard to explain, but when you sleep, all you see, like you're dreaming, and all you see is darkness. Something's coming after you, and you can't move or speak, but you're trying to yell for help, and you're trying to move and get away. And it's very scary. So I would always try to yell to my parents, and they'd have to come wake me up. But yes, I suffered with that too, which I haven't had an episode since I started carnivore, actually. But yeah, so I was a sick child, but I was very active in the sport. I played basketball, softball, soccer. I was a black belt in Taekwondo from the age of 10. I even played rugby in college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was very fit and active. I grew up, my dad was a big hunter, so I always ate meat. I was never a pasta person. So I'm sure, that helped me some with my anxiety. Like I couldn't even imagine if I was eating all the crap.
Yeah, I understand.
It would have been a lot worse. I don't know.
Sure.
But, yeah, so actually, 2 weeks ago from the Saturday, I woke up for the first time in my life with zero anxiety. I didn't even know what
wow.
that was. And
that's wonderful.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, me too. I'm so happy. Like, you have no idea. I'm high on life now.
I think that's what everyone wants, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so my kids had to witness a lot. I was very sick in my adult life, and like I said, young. And that, so I got kidney stones at age 15. I was like the youngest patient my doctor ever had. They had no idea why I had them, but that definitely led to a downward spiral in my life of addiction. I was on pain meds at a young age. They would prescribe me Percocet, Demerol, morphine. And I was like in the hospital at least once or twice a month, sometimes there for a week at a time, one time a few weeks at a time. And I of course stopped playing sports, which made me who I was at that point. And it was some dark times. I started taking pain meds daily to cope with life more, without even really knowing.
Yeah.
And doctors would just prescribe me meds constantly. And then I got even more sick after my third child and was diagnosed with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. That was right after my third child was born.
Oh, wow.
And then, so through all this, I was having still surgeries. I had broken my back in a car accident right before I got pregnant with my second child. And I had such a high pain tolerance to pain meds. They had me on the patches there, fentanyl patches.
Wow.
And I was on Oxycontin. I was actually prescribed pain meds for my first two pregnancies all throughout, because of my chronic kidney stones. They said that it was more of a risk that it would throw me into labor. My third pregnancy, I actually had to have surgery. They had to put a stent in me and remove stones. So anyways, they put me on methadone in 2011.
Okay. Were you in a clinic for that or just at home?
So in Vermont, we had clinics. They started me at the clinic. But I'm an addict. I'll always be an addict, but I wasn't your typical addict. I was just addicted to pain meds. I never did anything else. So my doctor said, when they start you, I'll take over. So I ended up getting prescribed through my doctor. I went every 2 weeks. They did a urinalysis, but I ended up being up to 140 milligrams of methadone.
And that's crazy, right? That's like super high.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know much about it, but I know it's like just as addictive.
It's horrible, and they don't tell you it will last in your bones for 6 months after being on it. It is, yeah, it's horrible, and nobody tells you about that. And anyways, the methadone makes you gain weight, or most people gain weight. I ended up getting to like 245 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Very unhealthy. And then, of course, with the lupus and the rheumatoid arthritis, I was inflamed and in pain. And they were actually at one point prescribing me a pain med on top of methadone. Yeah.
Crazy.
And, I would have to take a pain med 30 minutes before even getting out of bed. But I've learned that pain meds make you hypersensitive. And they don't teach you that either. So, I mean, somebody could just flick me and it was just excruciating for me. So I started I was on methadone for many, many years.
Wow. And how is the methadone? How do they explain that methadone is supposed to get you unaddicted to pain meds? What's the explanation there? Just in case somebody doesn't know.
Well, there's Suboxone and methadone. I know Suboxone blocks opiates. So if you were to take it, it makes you sick. Methadone is just another one that they prescribe. To tell you the truth, I don't know. It's more, it also helps with pain. So I don't know if that's why they went that route for me. I'm not too sure. But
Okay.
like I
Okay,
said,
fine.
I
I
was
was just
seeing my doctor every 2 weeks.
right.
And I was on it for goodness, 13 years probably.
Wow.
But by year 12, by year 12, I started getting very, very sick. I
Okay.
couldn't eat anything. I was vomiting. I was having chronic diarrhea, losing weight, like bad, like muscle. I was so weak. And
Yeah.
so they would test me for everything. They even sent me to Dartmouth. In that year, I almost died. My mom thought I was going to die. My kids thought I was going to die. I went from 245 pounds to maybe 100 pounds in a year.
Yeah.
You could literally fit my hand around my thigh. Like I said, I was just skin and bones. And they did every test you could think of. Every test, everything was coming out fine. I mean, some days I couldn't even get out of bed or walk. I would just fall. My mom would take me to the ER and they'd say, well, what's different from yesterday? Why is this an emergency? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just sick. I don't know what to do. And they would send me home.
Right.
So finally, I went to Dartmouth and they did a test that measures your gastric emptying.
Oh, okay.
Like how your digestive system works, I guess. And mine was shut down. And the specialist in Dartmouth said, we've seen this a few times, and it's because of the methadone.
Wow.
And at that point, I wasn't ever planning on getting off methadone because I didn't have any cravings at that point.
Right.
For pain meds. Like I was content. I didn't want to drink alcohol. I thought that I needed to be on methadone for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And when they put you on methadone, there's no plan of getting off. Like they they put you on it and that's it. So at that point, when I found out it was the methadone causing me to do this, my mom tried finding many places around that would take me in to give me some nutrients while I got off methadone. No place would take me.
Wow.
In either insurance purposes or the hospitals just won't do that. So I ended up finding a place called Brattleboro Retreat, which is in Vermont, and it's for addicts, alcoholics. It's a rehab, basically.
Okay.
Most people go there for 4 days to get off alcohol or drugs, and I was there for 10 days.
Okay.
And I got off the methadone, and it was hell. It was. Sure. It was hell for 6 months after. It was hell for a year after. It was rough, but I did it. I feel amazing, and people need to be aware of what methadone does to you.
Right.
There is such a push to go on it, and I get that. Like, it definitely saved my life at that point in my life.
Right.
But it was crazy. And after I got home from Brattleboro, I was still very weak. I ended up walking into my boy's room to tell him something, and I blacked out and I fell, hit my head, and we had hardwood floors. Got a concussion, broke my back again. And that was my first concussion of 5 that year. But yeah, and anyways, it was a rough life for a while.
Sure. Yeah, I understand. And then how did you come upon finding carnivore?
So I found carnivore a little different from everyone else. I have a second cousin who lives in Canada, and he is a certified health coach. And he was my father's first cousin who had died of pancreatic cancer. My dad was a healthy, active sports player, played hockey, played every sport, but anyways, jogged every day, never smoked, never drank. One day got sick, got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in February, and he was gone by June 9th.
Wow.
And my cousin Frank is his name. He was my dad's best friend, first cousin. We saw him. I grew up with him.
Yeah.
And so after my dad died, we didn't hear from Frank for a very long time.
Okay.
And what had happened to him is he ended up getting colon cancer. And he did a lot of research and ended up curing his cancer by fasting and carnivore.
Wow.
And he had been trying to get me to do this, and I guess the time was just never right. And then I met my boyfriend, and we've been together a year now, but he was diagnosed as being pre-diabetic, and his mother was a diabetic. And so I ended up talking to my cousin, and he came and stayed with us for a month.
Okay.
And taught us all about carnivore. And then after he went home, obviously we continued. And then I started doing my research and found Dr. Barry and Chasey and, all the wonderful people in the carnivore community.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah. And now I'm addicted, and that's all I do all day long is listen and watch you guys.
Thank you. I guess it's a way better addiction.
Oh, absolutely. And every morning now, like I come to work, I still have a hard time sleeping. That's one thing I'm still working on. But my energy level is through the roof now.
Awesome.
But I watch Dr. Kiltz every morning when I come to work, and that's how I start my day now.
Awesome. So we've gone over a lot of like terrible things, and I'm so sorry you experienced those things.
You know what? That led me to where I am today, honestly.
Okay. That's great. Well, that's the bright, the like Lucky Charms. What do you call it? Like the rainbow at the end,
Absolutely.
Or the light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely.
The silver lining. Okay, there you go. Can you go over what has improved in your life since you started this?
Yes, absolutely. I have a nice long list.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, yeah. So before this, of course, with pain meds and stuff and slowing my digestive system, I had like acid reflux, GERD. So lupus and methadone makes you like a zombie, but the lupus, I was very tired, like to the point that it was dangerous for me to drive. I would fall asleep at the wheel. It didn't matter what time of the day. It didn't matter who was with me. It didn't matter if I had my window open, music blaring. I would fall asleep at the wheel. And so one major thing is my energy is through the roof. I was actually so I couldn't drink coffee because of, like I said, my acid reflux and all that.
Sure.
So I was taking caffeine pills, and I would take 600 milligrams in the morning, and then I'd sometimes take one at noon, which they're 200 milligrams apiece, and I'd sometimes take one at night, just so I could function and work. Today I'm down to 50 milligrams, and I'll be off of it by Monday.
Wonderful. That's
and
great.
Like I said, I just have so much energy. It's pretty fantastic. And so other improvements: no more brain fog, no more bloating, no more inflammation. I had rheumatoid arthritis, so my joints were so inflamed. I had costochondritis, which is inflammation of your basically cartilage in between your ribs. So I always had pressure on my chest. It feels almost like you're having a heart attack, and just a lot of pain, a lot of inflammation in my chest. And that lasted a long time, and that's completely gone. completely gone.
It's
I had a
amazing.
lot of sinus issues, allergies, sinus infections. No more. Those are all gone. I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. I was on levothyroxine. I had blood work 2 months ago. That is gone. I am no longer on meds for that. My white blood cells and my lymphocytes are still low due to my autoimmune issues, but they have gone up. And I had blood work 2 months ago and then a month ago, and my levels are coming up, which is great. And a funny thing about my blood work. So when I went 2 months ago, of course I was lying then, you know, and I only usually eat once a day. So
Okay.
the doctor's appointment was in the morning. They got blood. My results, they said my sugar was high. And I'm thinking, yeah, okay. She's like, next month we're going to do an A1C on you. And I'm like, okay. 4.6 it was,
Oh,
which
wow.
was phenomenal.
Right.
But yeah. And so what else? I can be in the sun now. I couldn't be in the sun with lupus. I would break out in a rash. I would burn. I just, but now I love being in the sun. Again, I used to as a teenager, but anyway. I used to be on so many meds, kind of like Carrie, like a big box. I now take, well, I take some vitamins, and I can tell you that, but I'm only on 2 meds now, and that is, and I'm going to be in my depression medicine. I was on 90 milligrams. I am down to 30 milligrams, and I will be off in 2 weeks. And
yay!
no depression, no anxiety. I woke up 2 weeks ago and with 0 anxiety. It had been improving, but 2 weeks ago, Saturday, I woke up with 0 anxiety for the first time in my entire life.
That is so wonderful.
It feels so good. I am starting to get my self-confidence back. There's obviously more things. I am very self-confident, very, especially my face. Yeah, I have to wear makeup. Nobody sees me without makeup, like to the point where, and this is embarrassing, but I'm a real person, but to the point where I wouldn't even wash my makeup off at night because I didn't want my boyfriend to see me. I'm so uncomfortable in my own skin. Since starting carnivore, I do wash my face at night. So it's a big step for me.
That's great.
I see a future now. I never ever saw a future for myself. I think because I was just so sick. But I look forward to my future. I really do. And the food freedom is absolutely amazing on carnivore. Like you just don't think about it. I work all day. I usually work through my lunches now because I don't eat lunch. And it just makes the day go by faster and I have all this energy, so I might as well work. So we usually work through the day and then just eat when we get home about 4:35. What else? I think that's about it. Well, that's a lot, but you know.
That's just a few things. This is wonderful. Wow. That's so cool.
There's still things I need to improve on. Like I said, I'm still healing my gut. I still have loose stool. It has improved since switching to Lions.
Okay.
But I still do struggle with loose stool. But like I said, it major improvement, and I know it's just going to get better. So I'm okay with that.
Okay. It will. It will. It'll get better.
Yes. And my face, I still get lupus sores, and I think that's what made me, once I got lupus and the lupus sores, I think that's what made me so self-conscious maybe.
Okay.
But I tried chicken when I was carnivore. That brought out my lupus sores.
Okay.
Recently, I tried venison, and like I said, I've just been doing beef, salt, and water since, what did I say?
August something, I think.
Yeah, since August 14th. And
Okay.
just that slight change made my face break out in lupus stores, which I'm okay with, because like I said, I have less episodes of it. So
yeah.
just, I might not eat venison before I have an interview, but you know.
Is it easy to get venison in Vermont? Is it easy to get it there?
Yes. So my boys are big hunters.
Okay.
I grew up with hunters. I love deer heart. I love beef heart. I eat beef heart like probably twice a week, maybe. Yeah. And
great.
hunting season has just started. So my youngest got a bear actually a few weeks ago. So I'm excited to eat that.
Awesome.
And what's really cool is my boys are talking about me at school.
Oh, wow.
And my son came home last weekend and was like, Mom, my teacher's sister is a carnivore. I was like, no kidding. I'm like, oh, you're talking about me.
That's very nice. And what do your kids think about this whole change in you? Have they said anything, or?
They are just blown away.
Okay.
So I'm not with their father.
Okay.
So it's a little hard for them to stick to it, but I know they ask me lots of questions. At my house, they're basically carnivores.
Okay.
My boyfriend does the beef, butter, bacon, eggs. He also does onions and garlic from time to time. Sorry about the phone.
No worries.
But so they eat more like him, and then they watch me eat the steak and the organs and the.
I'm so happy I found another organ eater.
Oh, I love it. You were talking about tongue, and I'm like telling my boyfriend, I said, we gotta get some. He's like, you can have it. I'm like, oh, I definitely will have it.
Yeah. So just quick on tongue, you need to like pressure cook it first. You got to take off the taste buds. You can't eat them. It's like apparently like sandpaper, but the tongue itself is like very, I don't know. I like it a lot.
I look forward to trying it.
Yeah.
What's really interesting now is going strictly beef is I can tell the difference between like different cuts of meat.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of fun to play with. And then, grass-fed beef and regular beef. So I tried grass-fed beef with a local farmer here, and I actually didn't like it. It was very gamey.
Okay.
But later I heard if you feed them hay or something like a month or two before they're butchered, it takes the gaminess out. So I don't know if they didn't do that and maybe I just didn't care for it, but
yeah,
I couldn't even eat it and I loved it. So
there you go. To each is his own. I don't know what I eat, honestly. I don't know if it's grass fed or what. I have no idea.
Doesn't matter, does it? You feel great. You look great.
Oh, thank you. And so do you. By the way, you are quite beautiful. And I hope that your self-confidence, I know it will improve as you continue. I know it will.
Yes. And part of that too is because, so my mother went to cosmetology school when I was like in 4th grade, I think.
Okay.
So I was like her guinea pig. So she always did my hair and my makeup every day. So I think I just like, that just became a part of me.
Yeah.
You know
okay.
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just, someday I would love to go without wearing makeup. Baby steps. But like I said, washing my face at night is a big deal for me.
Okay. Great. It's a big deal for you. And that's the only person that matters when it comes to you. So that's great. Maybe if I end up in the East Coast, we'll do a day without makeup together.
Sounds great. Maybe
I will say that I was a makeup fanatic also for work. I wanted to look professional. And then I had kids and I was like, I couldn't put makeup on anymore. I just had no time for it. I mean, my kids are still very little, but I do put it on for the YouTube videos.
You'll probably never see me without, but someday, if it's just
someday.
Me and you,
we'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah. Shannon, thank you so much for telling me your story. I'm so happy you're doing better. I'm curious, do you have any final words you would like to leave us with?
Well, so, I have always been a people pleaser. Didn't matter what was going on inside. If I thought I would hurt somebody's feelings or I would make sacrifices. And if there's any one thing that you can do for yourself and just for yourself, try carnivore, because it's amazing, and it's just something that you can do, like I said, for yourself, just for yourself. And I'm trying to figure out in life, like my passion. I kind of lost that after having kids and with all the health stuff. And like I said, for the first time in my life, this is one thing that I'm passionate about, and I'm in total control. I'm in total control of my health. And I'm learning, to say no, and I'm learning to work on me, and that's okay. So if there's one thing you can do to improve yourself, just for yourself, try carnivore.
Awesome. Thank you. That's great. So is there anything else you want to say?
No, I'm excited to talk with you guys Tuesday evening.
Oh yeah, me too.
Bring my mother, and my boyfriend's going to be there, and they can share their experiences as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and my dog. I forgot to tell you about our dog. So our dog, I'll show you the little video. I have like a little clip, but he needed a $5,000 hip surgery.
Wow.
Yes. He had torn his ligaments in his hip. And so we started our dogs on carnivore. And I have this little clip, but you would never know. He doesn't need surgery. He walks perfectly fine.
Wow.
It's absolutely amazing.
That's so good for your dog and so good for your bank account.
Oh,
it's so expensive.
Oh, I know. I have all these pictures too that I can show you guys. So this is our dog. So he couldn't even put pressure on his back leg. And this is after a mile walk.
Wow.
You can't even tell.
You can't even tell. I'm so happy about that. Oh, your little fur buddy.
It is amazing.
That's great. So how long did it take to fix again? I'm sorry.
So that was only a month after switching them from dog food to carnivore. So we give them raw chicken thighs. We give them about 2 big full ones a day, and then they get 1 or 2 drumsticks a day. And then they eat, like, if we have steak and liver and all that stuff, they eat that too.
Okay, nice. Your whole family. Your whole family's converting over. That's great.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And more people around me. I have a coworker and his family now on carnivore. So
great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's very cool. Awesome. All right, Shannon, we will talk again. Thank you so much for doing this today.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
Wait, hold on one second. Yeah, you can say bye, but I gotta